to talk about tax deeds today, folks. And tax deeds are auctions and they're coming from the county. And that means you're going to be able to buy below wholesale.
Hey, have you ever thought about getting real estate at some crazy discounts? I'm talking below wholesale value. Oh, you're at the right place. This is Ted Thomas, the tax lien certificate and tax deed authority of America, and he's going to be sharing exactly how you can do that. Now, Ted, let's start with the basics.
Now, thousands of people across America are looking for properties that are below wholesale price. Pretty hard to even get them at wholesale. But I can tell you, at tax defaulted and tax delinquent auctions, you can buy below the wholesale value. So what a good place to start.
Well, let me tell you, what makes this tax deed investing so affordable?
It's affordable because of one big reason. When the local government doesn't get paid the taxes on the property, they go through a process of confiscating the property. They put a lien on it, then they levy on it, and then they actually confiscate the property, but they don't want the property. They will sell that property at very close to the back taxes. So imagine a $200,000 property, and they're going to sell it for just the back taxes. You want to get in on that deal because you're below wholesale prices.
Well, what makes one county or one state more favorable when you're trying to choose, where you want to put your money and invest? What do you look for?
Everybody that's investing wants to invest close to home, but we don't have to worry about close to home anymore. So you can make any state and any county exactly what you want, because now when you're learning and you go through the learning process, you can do this online. So you can access all counties in the United States online. All 3,000 plus counties will sell tax delinquent property. That means in all 3,000 counties, you're below the wholesale value when you're buying property.
Well, Ted, I imagine that when folks go to an auction, a tax deed auction, it's got to be pretty competitive. Are there any strategies you can give investors to gain maybe a competitive edge and get that below market deal that you're talking about?
I wish I had another screen here and I'd put a long list of competitive advantages that we could give you, but let's name a couple right away. So when you want to do a business, the first thing you want to do is you want to get educated. Now, what do I mean by getting educated? Go to a couple of auctions and see what's taking place. Watch and understand. Don't just go there and raise your hand and start buying things, because when you buy it, you're going to give them money. When that money goes across the counter, they're going to keep that money and they're going to in turn give you a defaulted tax deed. All right, that means you're going to own that property. So you want to talk about advantages? Go look at the property. Make sure that you understand what's going on in the neighborhood where that property is. For example, when you go and buy a property, before you buy it, you should go look all around the neighborhood. What if the neighborhood's a really nice neighborhood and you're buying at a low price? Well, that certainly sounds good. But if you didn't look and you found out it was really a down neighborhood, but you had the most expensive property, you probably have a little trouble selling that. So you need to go to school, basically get an education. So I always use pictures in my work. I show Ben Franklin from way back, one of the founding fathers from Philadelphia. And he said, invest in education. It pays high interest. So you're getting the idea.
In some of your previous YouTube videos, Ted, you've talked about the need for an exit strategy before you even buy the property. How do you do that? How do you come up with an exit strategy for something you haven't even purchased?
Don't purchase anything until you do have an exit strategy. That's one of the main rules. I teach people to start out. If you want to be in the tax delinquent property business, you've got to look at the property. That's number one. Number two, before you buy that property, travel to the property, drive to the property, or get other people to look at it, whatever, so that you know what you're buying. All right. Now, the biggest mistake people make, big mistake, is they buy a property they haven't looked at and they don't know the condition of the property. So they don't know what they can sell it for. So they bid the price up and bid the price up and bid the price up. And guess what? They win the auction. You don't want to win an auction. That's the worst thing that could happen, because that means you paid the highest price. In other words, what you did, is you paid too much. How are you going to sell it?
So you need to know what you're going to buy, got to be ready to sell. Well, let me ask you though, it would just seem like that some of these tax deed properties have been neglected. Is there a lot of junk out there?
Yes, there's a lot of junk in the tax lien business. So probably 25% of it's junk. But all tax defaulted property are used and abused. Now, what does that mean? That means the people, maybe it was a farmer, and they had 3 bad years of drought, and he had no crop. So he didn't take care of his property and it got run down, isn't well taken care of. So used and abused. Or some people, they don't take care of their property even in a suburban area. They just don't take care of their property. It's overgrown and the paint isn't good and it's got a leak in the roof and things like that. So you're buying used and abused. I would never buy a property unless I had looked at it and knew and could write down on paper what it was going to take to fix it. Because when you're going to sell it, whoever's going to buy it from you is going to take a look at that. And even though you're buying it wholesale or below wholesale, guess what? Someone's going to want to get a deal. And that's what you want. So you want to buy it low, sell it low, and make a profit, but don't try to make a huge profit. But if you haven't looked at it, bad mistake.
So somebody is interested in this tax deed investing, Ted, but they just lack the know-how, they lack the funds. What's the next step they should take?
First step they have to take is the one we mentioned earlier. You've got to get yourself educated, invest in education before you invest in a tax auction. Now, I'm in the business of selling education materials. I can bring people to classes. I can show them auction calendars. I can give them videos to watch. I can give whole electronic courses they can go through. But the real deal is this. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it because you're going to make a bigger mistake and get in the hole. You don't want to do that. You want to buy the right property at the right time. I have people that go to 5 or 10 auctions and not get a property. Why? Because they're educated buyers and they wait for the right one. But then we get that right one. What if you could buy a $200,000 property and you could buy it for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar and you had all that margin? You only have to do that once or twice a year. You've got enough money to pay for a nice vacation. You certainly pay your house payments and your car payments.
Hey, listen, if you're watching this video and maybe I missed a question you want to know from Ted, leave it in the comments below. Ted's team goes through that and you will get an answer to your question, or you may be the focus of another video Ted does in the future. So that 1-day virtual workshop, that's something you're going to want to look at.
Well, we do the 1-day virtual workshop, but people really should think about that. Now, it's $47 to attend that. I'm not an internet marketer, so I don't give a lot of stuff away. It's $47, but it lasts 6 hours. It starts at 11 in the morning in the Eastern zone and goes till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And we cover tax lien certificates, tax delinquent property, and we show you all aspects of it, the good, the bad, and the not so hot.
Hey, just click in the description below to find out more about that. And thanks a lot for watching, everybody.